Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of this series. Today we're going to continue with the Obelisk. We're going to be doing retopology, which is one thing that you guys have been asking a lot for. I think in the past, like in all of the sculptures and projects we've done before, I've used like Siri Mesh and like the easy way out. Today we're going to go like the true way in. We're going to go in the way we're supposed to do retopology to keep this like super optimized. So let's go. We're gonna jump quickly into ZBrush first, and this is the Boolean Mesh that we created. Remember that we added the last like very sharp hole up here, that little element right there, and we added of course the steps. So now everything is a single mesh, which is exactly what we need to create our high poly. So unfortunately, we can't bring either this 4.2 million, or we can bring this 4.2 million element either to or neither to Maya nor to substance. You should use neither and nor when it's a negative. See, now I'm even teaching you English. I'm not a great English speaker, but I know enough to get myself around. So I'm gonna go see plugin. I'm gonna say Decimation Master. I'm gonna hit this button right here, which is pre-process current. So what Decimation Master does, for all of you guys that are not aware of, it's a very powerful tool, by the way, in the full version of ZBrush. I don't think it's on the ZBrush Core version. It's definitely not in ZBrush Mini. So what this does, it analyzes your whole mesh, and it will triangulate everything. Similar to Dynamesh, quadrangulates and triangulates everything. It gives you like workable topology, but in this case, it just triangulates everything. And it's not workable topology because what it's gonna do is it's gonna triangulate more where it needs more detail and less where it needs less detail. Similar to Sculptress, it's kind of like in that sort of like vein. You're gonna have more detail or more triangles where there's more detail, more elements like cracks and wrinkles and all that stuff, and you're gonna have less triangles wherever there's like very flat surfaces. So I'm expecting to have a very nice decimation here. Now we don't want to lose all of the detail. We don't want to go like super low poly, because then when we do the bakes, which is the transfer from high poly to low poly, we're gonna lose a lot of the detail. So we're gonna try and keep it probably at about a million polygons. I think it's a good number for this particular asset. So let's just wait for this to finish. And almost there. Just writing file to this. The heavier your tool, the longer this is going to take, of course, but there we go. Now the pre-process hasn't done anything. You can see we're still at 4.2 million. So I'm going to go back to C plugin, and here, down where it says percentage of decimation, 10% should be more than enough. So I'm going to say the decimate current at 10%, and we should be getting a little bit below like 500,000 polygons. So as you can see here, like if I show you this thing right here, and this thing right here, whoop, like the difference between one and the other, it's going to be very difficult to see. Well, of course, this is like a big difference, but usually decimation is strong enough that you don't see the difference, and you can see that everything now is triangulated. We have big triangles here, but small triangles on the edges. So this is perfect for us. I'm just going to export the whole tool. Remember, we always want to keep this super clean, so we're going to go to Assets, Obelisk, and I'm just going to call this Obelisk _ HP. It's not Harry Potter, it's high poly. You guys like Harry Potter? I read the books when I was a kid, and the movies, of course, very good. So I'm gonna go here, File, Import, and we're of course gonna set our project. So these are the projects for the classes I'm teaching. I teach everything over here. I teach modeling, animation, rigging, Unreal, like everything. We're gonna go here, just set project, Nexttut live, set, and now we go into scenes, or sorry, into assets and Obelisk, and we're gonna import our high poly. So here's where the retopology process starts. We need to rebuild the mesh that we had when we first started sculpting this guy, so that we can very nicely create, well, the mesh we want to have, of course. Now, there's a little cheat that I'm gonna use right here, and that is the fact that we can actually recycle the original low poly that we have. So if I go here, File, and I import the original Obelisk, which is this base mesh, you're gonna see that the shape, generally speaking, is pretty damn close, right? So it's quite close. It's not there, but it's really close. So one option would be to actually just bake into this element, but there's a lot of like changes in silhouette that we're gonna be missing. So actually, no, I'm not gonna cheat. I'm gonna do it the right way. So let's do it. I'm gonna go here, select this object, grab this live surface, and I wanna, of course, retopologize everything. Now this thing is symmetrical in a certain sense, so it would be a good idea to do one half first, duplicate it to the other side, and then do the other half. However, at the same time, there are a couple of like very prominent damages here and here. So after we do the mirror, we're gonna have to adjust the other part of the symmetry. So now that this is a live surface, we can go into our quad draw and we can start drawing. So for instance here, this is a triangle. So let's just draw a triangle right there. Let's just make sure this is a triangle. There we go. And that's it. And then from here, we're gonna go up there. And what you want to do is you want to capture the silhouette of your object. That's the most important piece of advice that I can give you in regards to topology. So for instance here, even though I could capture this with a triangle, topology wise it's a little bit better if we have like squares, or as many squares as we want. So I'm gonna start like bringing these squares up here to the little line right there, and eventually these guys are gonna crawl to this upper side like this. See that? So for instance, all of this, just a square, and then just continue the square from there. So super simple. Here, for instance, definitely need another square. Now, I know, nah, that's fine. It's similar to, I'm just gonna do this, create a triangle there to hold that surface in. And now from here, we're gonna start pushing up like this. Now, some of you might be asking, well, do we need to like loop around this like wrinkles and stuff? And the general answer is, if you're going for like a really low optimized low poly, then no, you don't want to hit every single corner. However, if you do have a little bit of let's say or polygons to spare, then yeah, like adding a little bit of an edge loop here might be a good idea. I'm gonna show you one little trick that we're gonna do to get a little bit more resolution, so just hold on tight. We're not gonna do that just yet. So as you can see, we have these three lines here. Now we go up here. And I ask myself the question, does this border impact the silhouette of the object? Yes, it does. So you loop it. That means that you add enough geometry to capture that silhouette like this. And I'm just going to keep going up. Same deal. Does this border changes the silhouette? Slightly. A little bit more over there. So yeah, I definitely want to capture this. And we're going to go here and here. We'll go up here, and there we go. So now we just keep going up. Now this super long flat areas, the question is, do we need to have like a evenly distributed, like a sort of like topology thing? No, totally not. Like we can just go with like a super long and big square right there, and that's gonna be just fine. Over here, do we need to capture like each wrinkle and each element? Nope, definitely not. We wanna keep this again as simple as possible. Quick trick, you're not gonna be drawing one and one, just draw one. Move it to where it's supposed to be, like the border right there. And then if we need one more edge, for instance, we just add it. And that's it. That way I don't have to be like guessing and doing like weird stuff over there. Same deal here. Like I know that eventually we're gonna have those lines. So why not just add the big polygons first? Like this. And then I just add the lines. And we start looping this. We can use the tab key to extrude one edge to the other. Tab key, extrude one edge to the other, and there we go. Tab key, extrude right there. Tab key, and we need a couple of edge loops here. Of course, we're gonna have to correct a couple of them, but that's fine. The thing that you want to do with retopology, and the reason why people sometimes hate on retopology is because it's very slow. But if you know how to work fast with the tools that you're giving, like all of these things that I'm showing you right here, it usually goes a little bit faster than most people think. So like all of this is already pretty much done. Here, let's add just one more line, and there we go. We have all of this section ready. Now over here, we do have this small little thing. I might just add a little bit of an edge loop there. Again, it's just gonna help both in the bakes later on and on the general silhouette. Then I'm just gonna extrude this thing all the way up, like about there. Extrude this thing sideways like this. Make sure this connects right there. And then just extrude this thing up, extrude this thing over here, and we're probably gonna have some sort of like a weird topology here. Now, do we need to worry about topology in this retopology process? Yes, you do want to have everything be like as clean as possible, given the circumstances of each mesh. But we don't have to worry about loops or anything because we're not going to be subdividing. This is not a subdivision mesh. This is a game mesh. And in games, the thing that we care the most about is the resolution. So we want to keep this as low as possible. Now, unfortunately, this is not symmetrical on the back side, so we're going to have to do this process again on the side, which again shouldn't be that much of a deal because right now we already have the main line. So for instance, I can just draw like 2 points right there, or just extrude this edge right here. If you ever get like extra points that you want to get rid of, double click the tool and just hit clear dots. Let's go over here. There we go. And now I'm just gonna... Sometimes I do like a small square, and then I just bring the vertex up, so it's a little bit faster. There's a lot of softwares out there for retopology. I mean, ZBrush has its own retopology process that you can use with like C-spheres and stuff. I personally don't like that one as much. I prefer Maya, mainly because I'm faster here. But there used to be software that I used quite a lot until Maya got better retopology tools, which was called Topogon. Some of you guys might have heard about that one. And Topogon was really good. It had like a very, very fast like GPU stuff that you were able to load like very heavy tools as well. So it was a really, really good tool. Unfortunately, it got dropped. What I mean by that is they stopped developing it when Maya got this thing that I'm showing you here, this retopology process. And I think late last year or close to that, they came back. They started developing the app again. So now there's Topogon 3, I believe, which is the latest version. I haven't used it, to be honest, because again, as I mentioned, after I switched from Topogon to Maya, I'm just been faster with Maya now. But it's a very good tool if you want to try it. It has a couple of neat tricks here and there that speed up the process a little bit. As you can see, there's no real science to this. I mean, it's just place your points where they're supposed to go and start building your mesh. Just like this. Now here things might get a little bit tricky. There we go. So for instance, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to go to the inside. So it's easier to just go here and bridge, and it should match pretty close to the whole thing. I am gonna... One thing you can do, and it's very cool, is actually you can like go here. And if you isolate, even though this is isolated, you can still, like, it still will follow the little points and stuff. So for instance, here, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna make a triangle. And the reason I want to make a triangle is I don't want a lot of like this geometry to go into a different area. So let's go here and here. We're gonna have an inside point definitely there. The way Maya works with this tool, it's camera based, so sometimes you're gonna have to find this like weird angle for Maya to properly create the poly that you want. That's why using the extrusion is also really helpful a lot of times. There we go. Now we're just gonna move this all the way up there. This we're gonna try to keep in the center there, and then this one all the way over there. There we go. So that's the halfway point. We're gonna have a little bit of an issue here with the normal maps. I'm already preparing myself for that because these surfaces are really close. So we're gonna have some or some contamination in the normal maps. It shouldn't be that much of a deal. I mean, as long as the silhouette and all of the little details look good, we're gonna be good. So here, we definitely want this big square, and over here, this big square as well. Over here, another big square. Okay, let's start small, and then just pull this down. There we go. Let's try to go to the center there. Oop. Now here you can see we have the little like border. So we're just gonna capture it. Oh, there you go. On your hard surface or on your high polys, you usually want to avoid having as many like perfectly 90-degree angles as possible. These guys are perfect because there's a little bit of a bevel on the things. So I know that these are gonna work just fine. But yeah, like 90-degree angles are the enemies of normal maps. Due to the way normal maps work. We're gonna talk a little bit about normal maps in the next video, or in the next couple of videos when we get into the textures. But yes, you can see we have this very nice effect there. So yeah, things are going good. Now, some of you might be wondering, do we need to like actually loop these guys right here? And the answer is, if you go to the front view and you can see the hole right there, you might not need to loop it because the normal map is gonna catch that stuff and like place it on the texture. However, shadows and all of those other elements might not look as good. So as a matter of like, or in order to preserve this thing a little bit better, I would suggest adding the actual geometry here. It will take a little bit longer because, as you can see, we need to loop this whole thing like this. I'm just gonna push this out and this down. I'm gonna do, it's kind of like doing an offset when you extrude, like a little window right here. And this is, that little window right there is gonna catch the curvature of that border. Should be able to catch it nicely. And here, I don't wanna make this super intense, so I would rather have like a square here. And then let's add one more line here and here. And this is something called stitching, or one of the techniques that we use to stitch things. So this is going to be a triangle, and that's going to be a triangle, and that's fine because this object's not going to be deforming. So we can have a couple of triangles here and there, and not the end of the day. And that way, we're not going to be carrying all of the edge loops from here to other parts of the element. So yeah, I mean, from this point on, it's just, for instance, here we can create another triangle to help us create a little like one of the sides of the square. That way it's very easy to just create the whole square here. See how fast that was, because we're using that little triangle to help ourselves. And then we're just gonna create like the little inset here, the offset. And just move this all the way down. Keep it close enough to the edge so that it captures the silhouette. And then just get this there, this guy's in there. This, just extrude this in. There we go. There we go. Just extrude this last one here and fill the hole. There we go. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to like drag this video super long. I want to focus on the cool things, which is the texture and the Unreal Engine implementation and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, from here on now, it's just like this same thing. I gotta do it on all of these sides, all the way up till here, and then we're gonna mirror to the other side. So I'm just gonna, let me see how we're doing on time. Okay, we're good. I'm just gonna show you how I would like attack parts like this one right here. So eventually, I know that we're gonna get to this position, right, where we have like a big square here and a big square here. So for this particular object, I might want to add a couple of more extra divisions here and then simplify, meaning I collapse some of the triangles so that we don't have as many triangles, and we just use the extra topology here to properly like go around the main forms of the object, like the high points. See that high point right there? So for instance, here we might need another point of geometry, but as we move out of this thing and into like the triangles here, we might want to start simplifying things. Okay, so you don't want to carry all of these edge loops into another part of the element. I'm still gonna go over like the final result of the topology on the next video, guys, so don't worry about that. It's just that I feel like you guys looking at me positioning points here and there might be a little bit boring and not great content. So I'm gonna stop it right here. I'm gonna finish the retopology process. What's the word, out of camera, and then on the next video we're gonna talk about how to properly lay out this thing and get it into Substance Painter. So thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments if you like this. We're halfway through this, so you can start giving me some ideas on what to do next or what other topics you want me to cover, and I'll be happy to start looking into that. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.